This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. Now, if you're listening to this hypnosis session, it might be that you're either currently or recently experiencing a lot of really intense anxiety. And for many people, anxiety can be linked to a future event that hasn't happened yet. But for many people, it's just this ongoing sense of dread or feeling unsettled, quite often in the lower chest or the gut. Just feels like turmoil, and it can affect sleeping, it can affect energy levels, it can make people aggravated. So intense anxiety is not useful at all. It's often linked to hypervigilance, an overactive nervous system that is currently almost constantly on guard or being vigilant to see what's going to happen next. Now, the client that I was working with really felt that way when they were in situations that other people were around. They'd get very fidgety, and it was because their body was producing a lot of cortisol and a lot of adrenaline in a place where they couldn't really move that much. Normally, movement is how you dissipate excess adrenaline and cortisol, and they couldn't do that because they would be in the audience watching someone they cared about perform. Now, this is a rapid anxiety reduction. It's based on 2 key things. One, accessing a resource state, and secondly, using deep diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing is just breathing from low down in your belly rather than up in your chest. Most people, when they're anxious, they breathe up here in the chest. And when people are feeling really relaxed and kind of very comfortable and calm in the situation, they tend to breathe down there in the belly. So it uses those 2 things. And this client felt very relaxed in nature, around water and streams and lakes and that kind of stuff. And we take that feeling and apply it to a situation that should feel very anxious. So being in the audience, watching someone perform. And it has this idea of the long breaths. Now, this is rapid anxiety relief. So the actual session itself is about 10 minutes because in the actual client session, we did all this stuff in real time, but I wanted to give a recording for them so that they could just listen and then fire off all of these techniques in just 10 minutes to, immediately and rapidly reduce their anxiety levels. So I would encourage you to think of a context that you feel very relaxed in and start thinking of those kind of places at the beginning of the session and start to bring in the circumstances that you normally feel anxious. So if you feel anxious public speaking, but you feel really relaxed on a beach, imagine yourself in a beach and then you're public speaking on the beach. We're fusing 2 different contexts together, and it's based on neuropsychology. So there's a great saying, which is neurons or neural pathways that fire together, wire together. So we want to link a resource state with a context that currently feels anxious so that the resource state is then linked to the context that currently you feel anxious in. So there's a bit going on here, but at its core, it's just 10 minutes to help relax your nervous system. And there will be a subscriber-only version of this, so you don't have to listen to my preamble and the intros and the outros, and you just get the 10 minutes of rapid anxiety relief. So feel free to get the free version and just skip to this part. But if you do want the subscriber only versions, I think I've got about 130 episodes now where it's just the hypnosis. So if you'd rather not hear me talk beforehand, look for the link, and it works out in pounds. I think it's £5 a month. So that's the equivalent of about 30 pence a day or something like that, and about 35 cents a day if you're in the US. So not a lot for you to be able to get the kind of hypnosis sessions that the original client spent hundreds of dollars on, and you get it completely free, and you get hundreds of different hypnosis versions. So if that's of interest, check out the description to find the subscriber link. Like I say, it's about £5 a month. That's about $6 a month, not very much. And you can get access to over 100 hypnosis sessions without any intro, outro, or explanation, or ads at all, just the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, check that out. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that feeling of calm tranquility, and as you exhale, just allow that outward breath to continue longer than it normally would. Place one hand there on your belly, and as you breathe in that feeling of relaxation, feel the hand rise. And as you exhale, feel that you're releasing any tension, any stress, any worries. And I'd like you to imagine them leaving your body in your outward breath. Most of the time, tension is just echoes. You can recalibrate. Eyelids feeling heavier. Breathing in deeper and longer, and as you exhale, feel a wonderful sense of release. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I wonder if you could imagine a beautiful, picturesque forest with a winding stream. Something that looks Now I want you to imagine that stream is so it trickles as those currents, tiny whirlpools. Imagine the forest. The forest happens to be on a sunny day, but the canopy means that only beams of light can break through the canopy. Imagine there's a breeze on your skin, the smell of tree bark, perhaps leaves. Maybe it's musty, maybe it's fresh, and some of the leaves have a scent. And I want you to connect with that feeling, a feeling that there's nothing you need to do. Being there is enough to just take it all in. That's it. And I want you to imagine there by the stream, under the shadow of those leaves of the trees. Imagine a plastic or perhaps folding chair, knowing that it won't be comfortable, and it doesn't need to be, then just imagine sitting on that chair and just allow to feel that the chair is taking your weight, distributing it and transferring it straight to the floor. So it doesn't need to be comfortable. And then I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you're there in the forest by the stream. One specific situation from your past where you felt anxious, and recreate that there in the forest, keeping the feeling of calm tranquility while imagining what it would be like to be in that place where in the past you felt stressed, anxious or fidgety. And notice that when you're primed for relaxation, you get to feel relaxed even by imagining being in a different situation. And it doesn't matter if it's a waiting room or the audience of a performance. All that matters is that your brain knows how to feel calm, relaxed, and present. And there is nothing you need to do. And each time you listen to this, you will imagine a different situation where in the past the anxiety was real, but you are training your brain to feel relaxed in exactly the same situation. And don't be surprised if on the 15th or 17th time of listening to this, that you've run out of things to think of, because now all of you feel just as relaxed as if you're in a forest next to a stream, out in nature with the breeze and smells of the forest. And imagine a year from now what it would feel like. That in the past you felt anxious doing. Maybe that would feel liberating, like the world is opening up, freeing. Anxiety builds walls, but feeling relaxed, calm and confident breaks those walls down. And I want you to think of something that could happen in the future, that in the past was daunting, but now would be exciting. And just imagine seeing yourself like you're someone else, doing that thing calm, confidently, looking relaxed, not needing to fidget or look uncomfortable. And if you could imagine that future version of you, once upon a time would have seemed impossible, and now it seems, if not possible or probable, consider it just the kind of thing that is a good intention. And if that feels like a desirable future, let me know by nodding your head. And each time you do something that previously made you feel anxious and you feel calm and relaxed, you are getting closer to that future becoming not a possibility, but a destiny. It's time to leave the forest. Imagine leaving that uncomfortable plastic chair. But as you leave the forest, feel a sense of newfound hope and a belief that the best way to bring anxiety are just long outward breaths from your diaphragm. And sometimes you'll be surprised at just how few breaths it takes to get to that manageable level. And as you hold that thought, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now as I to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes. Wide awake. Wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.